I wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whip him. All of you, I know you got him. I know you got him picked. The man's in trouble. The man is scared. He's in my country to start with. Want me to show you who's in my country? Ali, Boomer, Ali, Boomer, Ali, Boomer. I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All on the ball, all on the city ball. Oh, you fucking proud because the stage is set. You made him great. You made him a bad Joe Louis. You made him a home country. I want everybody from this moment on to recognize me as the star of boxing.
And you're always talking about Muhammad. You're not the same man you were 10 years ago. Well, I asked your wife, and she told me you're not the same man you were 2 years ago.
It will be a killer and a chiller and a thriller when I get the gorilla in Manila.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cassius Marcellus Clay. He's young, he's handsome.
They know it. I can pound a drink of water and kill a dead tree. Don't mess with Muhammad Ali.
I've done something special. I've wrestled with an alligator. I've tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
I'm as confident as I say, and I'm better than I say I am.
I'm a poet, I'm a prophet, I'm the resurrector, I'm the savior of the boxing world. If it wasn't for me, the game would be dead.
Who would bet on flying paddles and beating me? Who would bet on Ernie Terrell beating me? I told you I was floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see.
Last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
The stage is set for me to be ranked as the greatest of all time.
Alright, so I want to talk to people about gang stalking. Now, I beat gang stalking. I already beat it. It's over with. One of the things you got to do is reverse the definitions that you have in your mind. As far as gang stalking goes and people following you, I just say I'm famous. That's what I say. I tell people, especially like the gang stalker, especially a lot of the females who gang stalk, I walk up to them, talk to them, shake their hand, kiss their hand, start talking to them. Like, I'll try to, if I find them attractive, I'll try to get their phone number or something like that, or I'll give them, if it's not that simple, I'll give them a flyer with my number on it, and, they'll have a way to contact me. I say, hey, just Google me, I mean it. I do interviews, I got caught up with the wrong crowd and all this stuff with secret societies, I've been to Hollywood meeting people, all this stuff, and they just look at it like, this is different. This guy isn't afraid. He's walking around. He walks around at 3 a.m, jogging. You know what I mean? He's not actually being gang stalked. He's just living his life. And that's what I do. And so a lot of people get caught up in the negativity of it. They get caught up in like, electronic weapons are following me, or the government's watching with satellites and all that stuff. I mean, I don't got to, even before the gang stalking started, all these people knew who I was anyway. The government knew who I was. The people who run the government know who I am. I tell people, I'm internationally known, nationally recognized, and locally accepted. You know what I mean? Everybody knows who I am. Matter of fact, if I see a group of police officers, all of them know who I am. I wave at them and all this stuff. A year ago, I would have been thinking negatively about the police, or I would have been talking like, oh man, they don't, I'm mixed, as a racial. I like them now. I saw a group of firefighters when I was walking a few weeks ago. No, this was about a week ago. And I wave at them. I'm cool with them. I walk up to them and talk to them and stuff like that. If they ever really need anything, I'm there for them. You know what I mean? And so I just get cool with them like that. I don't got any problem with it. I know the police department ultimately is, connected to the system and all that stuff, but they're still people. Same thing. Anywhere I go, man. I can go right now. I can go right now. I can go walking or have somebody pick me up or whatever. I can go to the hood right now, and everybody will know who I am. I walk down the street from one end all the way to the other. I mean, miles downtown, the Heights, wherever. I go to the hood. Everybody knows who I am. All the females know who I am. And the gang stalking situation is like they pay females. They find females that they think I like. Like, if the female looks good, I want to talk to her. I'm not gonna be disconnected just because somebody paid her to come around me and ignore me. You know what I mean? I told, like, the other day, this female, man, she looks so, no, this was yesterday, she looks so good, right? I mean, good. Shorter, kind of brown-skinned black female. Boy, her ass. And I was just like, I'm sitting there like, I will, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, I will not allow the gang stalking entities to keep me disconnected from this entity. And so I told her, I said, well, she was riding this little kid's bicycle. I mean, it looked like a little trick bike or something, like a little kid rides. And she kept riding past me and stuff like that. And so I'm like, you don't gotta ride that. I'll give you a piggyback ride home if you want and stuff like that. And females like to laugh, right? So she's laughing, and then everybody else around just busts out laughing and stuff like that, and it just changes the whole atmosphere. Like, I go down the street, whoever's house I go to, everybody knows me. I go down the street, whoever, it doesn't matter who they are, whether they're good Samaritans or they've been to prison 10 times, everybody knows who Jameel is. And so even the people who don't like me still like me. And so that's how I do it. Then I go back over to any other area. I can go right now, I can get in a plane and go to the other side of the country. There's people who know who I am. I can walk down Hollywood Boulevard, half the tour guides know who I am. You know what I mean? The people at the club and stuff, they know who Jameel is on Hollywood Boulevard. I can go to Washington, D.C. I can go to Washington, D.C., the capital of the nation, and they know who I am. They know who I am, right? I can go to London. They're going to know I can go to London. Not necessarily the common people, but the real people are all going to know who I am. Then through that, the common people will begin to feel my vibration. And I just walk up on them. I just tell them, yeah, my name's Jameel. This has happened to me. I was an alternative researcher, conspiracy researcher. I like to give good historical points of views. I didn't study the ABCs. I studied the XYZs, the real stuff. And I just lay it down for them real thick, let them know what's up. And if you are getting paid to do something like that, I'm not mad at you, I just go from there, man. I just go from there. And don't have it in your mind that you're going through something bad. I'm going through something good. This is the best time. This is the greatest time in my life. And I already beat gang stalking. Actually, gang stalking saved my life. To be honest with you, gang stalking saved my life. Because before it started, I was like, I don't know, like unhappy and depressed and stuff like that. And I don't know. It was just like a situation where I didn't like anything, man. I got a jump rope, dog. I hit the jump rope. Even when I get tired, I just be, I'm fired up. I didn't lose it. And I just keep going, right? And it's just the best thing, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just what's up, man. Like yesterday, I'm walking. It's a female with big sunglasses. Now she's getting paid to gang stalk me. She's with her husband in the car and her kids in the back. And I'm walking by and I see her, and she's looking at me and she's smiling, she's laughing and stuff. And I can say, wow, man, she must, I mean something good to her life. And so I blew a kiss at her, and she just I go like that, and she just lit up. And then her husband's sitting there. He doesn't look happy. The kids are in the back like, what? I'm like, I got more potency with the gang stalkers than the people who hire the gang stalkers. I flip the game, man. And just like, what do you want from me? You've been contracted to gang stalk me. You got what you want. You're gang stalking me. To me, it's not, you know what I mean? So that's why, like, I'm the only person in the world who beat gang stalking. I'll tell you that right now. Right now, JAMEEL RAWLS is the only person in the world who beat gang stalking. So if you feel, if you need some motivation and you want to get out of gang stalking, contact me. Email me. Call me. I don't care where you are. If you live in Rome or something like that, if you can pay for me to come and see you and come and talk to you, I'll bring it to you. If you want to come to my house, I live in Norton Shores, Michigan. If you got the money and the financial assistance, all that stuff, and you want to come see me, I'll explain to you what my life is, and I'll explain to you how I beat gang stalking, and we can go from there. You know what I mean? You want to pay me to come speak for you, like an inspirational speaker or whatever, to other people, I'll do it like that. You know what I mean? And so, one of the biggest benefits I have on gang stalking is I studied it without studying it. when it came to my research, I did a lot of conspiracy research on Jim Jones and the People's Temple, and I realized the people who left the temple were getting gang stalked. And at the time, I didn't know what gang stalking was, but I knew that's what Jim was doing. He was following people and having all this stuff, having 10, 20 people follow people and intimidate them into coming back to the temple. And so I was studying it without studying it. And so that's why I'm so, you know what I mean? It's like I can see things coming. And you're listening to somebody. I was hiding inside my mother's house for a month. For a month. I got into it, like, again, not with the CIA, with the people who own the CIA, the people who run the CIA. I didn't get into it with the Vatican. I got into the people who own the Vatican. And so, I mean, if they wanted, you know, if those people actually literally at that time wanted to take me out, they could have did it in broad daylight, and I knew that. So I was like hiding. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to die. Oh. You know what I mean? But now it came to a point where I'm just like, okay, it's all good. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I'm the type of person, I believe in multiple parallel lives. And so I'm like, how many lifetimes can you have in infinity? I'll get another lifetime. It's all good. And so then it didn't come. And I'm like, man, that's what really bothered me. Is it didn't happen. I didn't get killed. That's what bothered me the most. I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? What happened? Why didn't they? That really boggles you. It's not when you know that when you believe they're going to hurt you. It's when you know that they can and they don't. And now I'm not talking about the gang stalking people. I'm talking about, like, you know, the establishment. I was in Phoenix, and I was at a hotel, and I had people. That place was covered. That place was covered with people from London. People from the Masonic lodges were coming in there to look at me. They want to see me up close. Not the gang stalking people. From London, from England, the real Freemasons wanted to come there and look at me up close in person and see what type of entity I am. That was the biggest deal to me, man. I was like, oh my God. Then they were hiring different types of girls to try to play games with me and stuff like that. And I ended up having a sexual experience with one of the girls the night before she found out it was me she was supposed to, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, I'm up here, you know, it's going down, dog. I'm up here I'm having relationships with the gang stalking females. You know how we do it. And so that was happening. And then I got into it with the one of the groups, the Skull and Bones entities. I got into it with them, but not specifically them. It was them, but it was more the families of like the paperclip project type Nazi groups. It was their children, their children's children, and them. There was something that happened in my research, and we crossed paths. And the really tripped out thing about that is when I was going to the channeling and psychic type people, they had been telling me that I had some sort of spiritual connection to the secret societies in Germany. Now, I was told this a few years ago. This wasn't something that happened recently. And so these entities, the German people, I actually got to sit down next to one in Phoenix at a bar, and I wasn't drinking. I was sitting there drinking a Coca-Cola, and he actually came and sat next to me. Very skinny man with blonde hair. Then I saw him again in a bookstore. And I actually, to be honest with you, I actually kind of, I don't know, I kind of like them. The Nazi type, the modern ones. I'm not talking about World War II, but the modern ones now that live in America, I actually wish I hadn't said anything, like before they were following me around. They actually came to the hood. No, when I say the hood, I'm talking about Muskegon Heights, and I'm like, you know, I'm probably the most whitest looking person who knows so many people in the black community in the hood and stuff like that. So most people know me just because of how I look. But they're driving around in a car, and it's all Germanic looking people, like real German looking people. I'm not talking about just white people, but you could tell they were like, you know, they just all looked like Nazis. And I thought it was so cool. I'm like, man, I altered a whole community, a whole neighborhood. Not gang stalking people. The gang stalking people are already getting paid and stuff like that. But I'm actually connected to real Nazis. I'm actually connected to top Masons. Whether what they think about me doesn't matter, they all know who I am. And so I thought that was cool. I actually wanted to be more friendly with them. I mean, if they would have offered me a ride, I would have hung out with them, man. We don't have to talk about gang stalking. Just, you know, if you want to feel my energy and see what I'm like, you can come talk to me. Sometimes what I feel bad about is I'll be in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood's like questionable, like as far as like the violence and all that stuff. And some of them look like they don't feel comfortable when they spy on me, when they drive by. And I actually want them to feel comfortable. I actually would go out of my way to make sure nothing happened to them. If something happened in the neighborhood or something like that, and like I actually would go out of my way to do that. And most of the people have enough respect for me not to let anything like if somebody was with me, like if I had a friend who was with me, no matter what they look like, black, white, whatever, nothing's gonna happen to them if they're with me. You know what I mean? And so I know that. And so that's what, you know, I actually want these entities to feel more comfortable. I thought it was pretty cool. Another thing about the gang stalking stuff is another thing about it is you begin to build more character. I mean, you let stuff go. You know? Like it gets to the point to where like when I was in Phoenix, you know what I mean? I was walking around, I was talking to a lot of different people, and a lot of people would come up to me and I could tell they were being paid to do it, and they would just look at me like this. And at first it kinda like, I don't know, it kinda made me feel challenged. But then I realized these people are just being paid to do it. It's not real. And so then it became like funny. And so I just wave at them or something, or smile at them. Every now and then, it's certain people who do it. And it's so funny because some of the people that do it, they don't look comfortable doing it. Either they're scared to do it, or they see that it doesn't really bother me, and they're like, okay. And they move on with their life. And so it's just interesting, man. I am so thankful. Whoever put me, you know, like the Masons call it the white glove treatment or whatever, where you get the gang stuff. Whoever put me through it, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever I did or whatever, I'm happy. And I'm very thankful for it. I'm the only person in the world that beat gang stalking. Ever. JAMEEL RAWLS. So if you need, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep helping people talk about this stuff. Just what I did, okay, when it first started happening, I went down the street in the neighborhood I live in, I went down to the corner and just stood there. Just stand there and watch the cars. Watch all the different people gang stalking you, whether they're your neighbors or not, whoever they are. Just sit there. Absorb the energy. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. But just absorb it. Absorb it, absorb it, absorb it. And what I did was, when I was younger, I used to watch the gangs in Chicago stand on the corner. And they were gang members who would stand on the corner and wait for rival gang members. And being younger, I used to look at that, and it was so funny to me. I used to be like, oh, what are these people, you know what I mean? Like, I used to just study these people and watch them do that. And then so in my mind, gang stalking, gangs. And so I interpreted it like that, so I just stand on the corner and watch the cars. Just watch the cars come by, just watch the cars. And then eventually I just open up to them. I just start smiling at them and waving at them and stuff like that, you know, you know, I spit a little game at them. You know, I see some females, you know, if she looks really good, I'll say, you know, who are you supposed to be? America's Next Top Model? She'll say, oh, no, I don't look good enough. I say, no, that's what a model's supposed to look like. You know what I mean? You know, and so you know, I'm not, you know, hey, what do you want? You want them or me? You know what I mean? How old are you? She's, I'm 25. So somebody paid you $100 to walk by me or do something like that, and you know, you have a chance to have a moment of glory right now in your life, and this is the prime of your life, and you know, you gotta connect with these people and project your energy, your vibrations, just like that. But hit me up, call me, telling you I'll come to you wherever you are in the world. If you will pay for it, I'll come to you and explain to you, or you can come to me, and you don't even if you come to me, you don't even gotta give me nothing, dog. I'll do it for free. You don't gotta give me no money. If you want to know more about how I did it, you can call me on the phone or email me, or you can come to me and walk around and all that stuff, and everything will be everything. All right.
Put together, I'm bigger than the Super Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, and the 500. When I go, the world, truly, the world listens.
was the most emotional and exciting night of my sports watching life. Seriously.
And when he knocked out George Foreman, my father, my daddy, cried.
The thing they said was impossible, he's done.
And Muhammad Ali was an outspoken athlete. And to be an outspoken athlete in the 60s, that was taboo.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whip him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him, Dick. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
He beat Joe Frazier 2 out of 3, and the third was the greatest fight ever fought, the Thrilla in Manila.
Sticking. Keep dancing and sticking. Sidestepping. Bouncing off the ropes. Dancing and sticking. Beat him all night. Time out by 7 rounds. You won't be so game in 7 rounds. Time out. Bring him home. Get my legs ready. I'll be dancing all night. Dance is heavyweight of all time. Fastest